remember when Call of Duty Zombies had style? It doesn't get any more zombie feeling than this right here. Before you even load into a match, it sets the tone and fully immerses you into the experience. This was from almost 15 years ago, and this is what it has evolved into.
And I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
There's no denying that this does not give you the same feeling as before. The Black Ops 6 zombie screen looks empty and completely ripped of any stylization or meaningful immersion. The Black Ops 6 Zombies preview from Liberty Falls looks completely soulless and lacks any personality. Now it's worth mentioning that this is from an alpha preview and the game could receive some changes for the full launch of the game. However, I think it is abundantly obvious that zombies have not had that same feeling that older zombies had, and I believe this helped to illustrate that point. Now I know that many people in the community have already voiced their opinions on this matter, but I hope to bring some new perspective and more insight into the matter. I've been an avid fan of zombies for many years. I started at Black Ops 1, I went back to World at War. I've done a lot of custom zombies from World at War and Black Ops 3. I put extensive hours into zombies. I am a huge fan of zombies, so this all comes out of a passion and a love for the mode, or a mode that I at least used to love. I've been excited for this, and I know many of you have too. So let's break down what we've seen so far, and I'll share my honest thoughts on where I think the mode is heading. First things first, I want to start off with some positives, and I think there is a lot of positives to look at here. I'm only going to touch on a few. You can come by the streams to kind of get more of my thoughts. Twitch.tv/Sitsinger. Little plug there. So I want to start off with some positives. Those visuals. I mean, wow. The graphic fidelity in Black Ops 6 Zombies is on another level. Or similar to Cold War looking, but it looks very good, right? It looks like a modern Zombies. Zombies should advance, at least graphically. I think we could all agree on that. Everything looks very clear and crisp to look at. We would expect that each game will make improvements to the graphics, and I believe this tracks in the alpha preview as well, and we can only expect this to get better as we get closer to that full launch of the game. With that being said, however, I believe Liberty Falls was not the best map for them to showcase the distinct visuals that have commonly set zombies apart from other experiences in the past. We have seen that the other launch map, Terminus, looks to be a way better representation of a classic Call of Duty Zombies aesthetic. And what I mean by that is Zombies usually has a very unique look to it that kind of sets it apart from the other modes. Like a map usually would look quite a bit different and really set its tone apart from multiplayer, campaign, and Warzone. We are losing that now with modern zombies, it seems, and I'll be getting into that more later. But yeah, so Terminus looks to be a very good looking map so far, has a clear aesthetic that it seems like it's going for, and it's clear that Treyarch is going all out with the atmospheric detail in Terminus and being more reserved for Liberty Falls. That's why I think Liberty Falls was just more of a showcase of the movement and the flow and give you the general idea of what zombies is going to be like without really going into too much detail. This all partially makes sense since Liberty Falls is supposed to be a bonus map. The marketing made it seem like Liberty Falls was getting the same treatment as Terminus, but now that looks to not be true. You know, after seeing the Zombies preview, we can only assume that there's something else going on Terminus that has something more to offer than what we're seeing in Liberty Falls. Liberty Falls does have a main Easter egg, but that doesn't really mean it's a main map. Like, I don't think we could put Liberty Falls on the same scale as a Shadows of Evil, for example. I think Terminus is going to be the map that delivers a distinct zombie style and environment. I'm talking about darker, moodier environments, creepy fog effects, and like next level lighting that makes every corner feel like it's holding some nightmare and giving you that true zombies feel. Seems like Terminus is the map that will give us a more classic zombies feel with more risk/reward and that scarier tone and taking itself more serious. For example, Terminus has a traversal mechanic via a boat to reach several different parts of the map, presumably. It has a high reward since we assume that there are either areas on the map that are unreachable without utilizing the boat, or it can simply get you to those areas at a faster rate. However, there's a risk to using the boat since there's a creature inside of the water that will be constantly chasing you and trying to destroy the boat and down you. This adds some excitement and an adrenaline rush to a mechanic while keeping that zombie feel to it. It really feels like they're trying to give us that zombies horror vibe with a modern twist. I believe zombies should make you feel isolated, alone, and scared, that making any mistake can be the determining factor on whether you stay alive or go down. But hey, what do you all think? Does the atmosphere of Terminus seem more in line with classic zombies, or are you still waiting to see more? Now let's talk about what also got me really curious. Those new features. We've seen a hint of some crazy stuff like upgradable perks, augments, omni movement, becoming a literal mangler boss, and new weapons that are just chef's kiss. New weapons in a Call of Duty are always fun and make it fresh, and it's especially exciting since they said that there will be weapons in Black Ops 6 that have never been in any other Call of Duty ever before. For example, upgradable perks adds a new layer of depth to the game. Imagine getting Juggernog or Speed Cola and making it even stronger as you unlock those upgrades. This is going to inherently add more replay value, and it's going to force players to think about their choices rather than just grabbing their favorite perk and sticking with it. Of course, Black Ops 6 may have no perk limit like Cold War, but it could still change the order in which you want to purchase your perks. On top of that, we've also seen there is a new perk, Melee Macchiato. We haven't seen a new perk, I feel like, in a while, so this is definitely a welcome addition. Maybe the last one was Elemental Pop in Cold War, so it's nice to see we got another one on launch. And I feel like this could be a fun perk and open up the ability for some fun builds. We also saw the ray gun has a fresh paint job, which looks really nice. It's just nice to see the ray gun return. It's been in so many zombies, but it's a tradition. You need to have the ray gun. Then we also saw the return of the jet gun, which I think is welcome, and it has a few different uses like picking up salvage and perks and stuff, which I think is just nice to kind of give it another utility factor to it. I'm excited to see what other wonder weapons could be, and especially on Terminus what those could be. But yeah, there's many more features that I'm excited for, like the new zombies death kill cam, looks really cool, the augments, and more that I can't wait to figure out how they all integrate into the experience, and I hope it all fits in well. But obviously not everything's perfect. One concern I've got right now is whether all these new mechanics might overwhelm the simplicity that made zombies great in the first place. Are we moving too far from that classic round-based survival experience? I love innovation, don't get me wrong. I believe games need to introduce new features to innovate the experience and keep things fresh, but sometimes less is just more. There's a delicate balance between innovation and keeping what works intact. The armor system is a hot debate right now, and rightfully so. I think the armor system does little to add to the experience of zombies. It doesn't add a unique or cool feature, but rather adds this annoying little element to the game that oftentimes takes you out of the experience. I think at the bare minimum, the animation shouldn't be the same plate animation as you would do in Warzone. You just feel that connection, and I get if you wanted to streamline the systems like that to make it easier for you to go from zombies to Warzone, but I think it does more harm to the zombies than it does good to the entire game. I think zombies will never feel completely unique from Warzone as long as these armor plates are in zombies. I believe that we are at a point where it feels like there are some drastic changes being made to how zombies is being played, and a lot of these kind of started in Cold War, and they don't really improve the experience of zombies overall. Changes seem to be made simply for the sake of making changes, but not considering the impact that it's having on the entire zombies fan base and the gameplay loop. Another hot topic that has been beaten to death, so I won't talk about it for too long, is the HUD. I'm a firm believer that less is more here, as I've stated earlier, and wish they would consider having more zombie-specific HUDs like we've seen in past CODs. These all add to the experience and make the zombies feel unique and fully immersive. My other concern is, from what we can gather, the gameplay seems to be pretty similar to Cold War, which isn't inherently a bad thing, but it is something to note in case you didn't like the feeling of Cold War. I personally didn't mind Cold War and just believe it was missing a few pieces to make the zombies experience actually feel like a complete experience. So that is a concern of mine, but already people are starting to call it Cold War 2, so I just want to make that kind of known. We do have a playable cast for Terminus, and I believe that will help with the immersion as well. And I'm super happy that we're finally getting back to a core cast, even if I don't know a damn thing that's going on in the zombies story right now. Comment down below if you know what's going on, because I am completely lost. My hope is, though, that the cast actually have meaningful dialogue and isn't some corny basic dialogue like the generic Cold War soldiers. There's a lot of pressure on there simply being something missing in Liberty Falls, like the map changing from an Easter egg step that they just couldn't show in the preview, or something just seems off in the map that could make it a decent map at least. There's even more pressure on Terminus to really over-deliver and needs to be an amazing map and a massive improvement over Liberty Falls in both gameplay and aesthetic. This is a lot of pressure to put on one map and can be the make or break for whether players decide to keep playing Black Ops 6 Zombies or the entirety of COD Zombies from this point forward. Now with that all being said, I'm hopeful. Treyarch usually nails it when it comes to zombies, and from what I've seen, they really listen to fan feedback and seem to have mostly learned from their past mistakes. So I'm optimistic that these new features will enhance the experience without taking away from the core gameplay that we all love. I truly feel like they are trying to find that balance between modernizing the experience while also having something for those diehard fans of the classic Zombies experience. To sum it all up, Black Ops 6 Zombies look like it's going to deliver something fresh while respecting the roots of the mode. These visuals are stunning and really opens up the possibilities for some insanely artistic set pieces. The new mechanics are exciting, and while I do have some concerns, I trust that Treyarch knows what they're doing. I'm definitely looking forward to diving into this mode when it drops, and it'll probably be the first mode that I'll be hopping into since they have now announced that there'll be no early access for campaign, multiplayer, or zombies. But I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the Black Ops 6 Zombies previews? Are you excited about the new features, or are you a little cautious about the changes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. That's all I got for today's video. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss out on my latest videos. I've got tons more of Call of Duty content coming your way with a haunting event right around the corner for MW3 and Warzone, and then Black Ops 6 right after that. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.